If you're not aware already, Mega Evolution is coming soon to Pokemon Go. It has been announced that sometime in 2020, we are going to be getting Mega Evolution Pokemon in Pokemon Go. So of course, people want to know who the best Mega Pokemon are for raiding, for PvP, for gym defense even. And I do have some answers for you, some predictive analysis as far as what the best Pokemon are going to be. However, because we don't know precisely how Niantic is going to implement Mega Evolutions into Pokemon Go, my personal theory might not end up panning out. So why are you running along with this theory, Mr. Swag? Well, if you look at how Mega Evolution is handled in the main series games, and you look at how Pokemon Go has handled these translations into their game, you can get a pretty good idea, a pretty good prediction as to how Mega Evolutions will work out in Pokemon Go. So this video here is not going to go over the best Mega Evolutions in the game right now. Those are going to be the future installments this week, so if you want to see them, better subscribe for that. This is going to be Mega Evolution 101, laying out the groundwork, the foundation for how Mega Evolutions could work and will likely work in Pokemon Go. So what is Mega Evolution? Well, Mega Evolution is an in-combat buff, more of a in-combat transformation that was introduced in Generation 6 of the main series games. This transformation would result in their stats increasing, them getting a new special ability, and sometimes even their type changing. I believe like 10 out of 48 of Mega Evolutions have a type change. And this transformation would last for the duration of battle. Outside of battle, your Pokemon won't be a Mega. If your Pokemon faints, it's no longer a Mega, but if you swap it out, it's still a Mega. And of course, you can only have one Mega Evolution per battle. That doesn't limit you from having two Pokemon that can Mega Evolve. You can only Mega Evolve one of them for that combat. So one battle I Mega Evolve Ampharos, another battle I can Mega Evolve Blaziken. I can have both Ampharos and Blaziken on my team, but only one can Mega Evolve at a time. If Blaziken faints as a Mega, I can't Mega Evolve Ampharos. So how do we Mega Evolve these Pokemon in the main series games? Well, you need to have a special item called the Keystone, and you also need to have the corresponding Mega Stone for the Mega Pokemon. If the Pokemon is holding the Mega Stone and you have the Keystone item, then you can trigger that Mega Evolution in combat. So knowing this, how will Mega Evolution translate into Pokemon Go? Well, for one, I don't think it's going to be an in-combat transformation. I think it's going to be another tier evolution, or maybe a toggleable transformation outside of combat for the Pokemon, but I don't think it's going to take place inside of combat. And there are several reasons for this. Reason number one is if the Pokemon were to translate into its Mega Evolution stats, that would be kind of busted for the Great League and the Ultra League. For example, you got Medicham. Medicham's a level 40 Pokemon that caps just under 1500 CP for the Great League. If you were to Mega Evolve it, its stat increase is about 1000 CP, which is huge for the Great League. Very few Pokemon can handle a Mega Medicham at level 40 in the Great League. So for that reason, I don't think that it'll be an in-combat buff. Of course, Mega Evolution doesn't have to follow stats from the main series games. It could just be a straight-up buff. You push the button, maybe your Pokemon changes its type, but then it gets like a damage and defense increase, like if you were to use like a power-up punch or an ancient power, something to that effect. That is a possibility, but then that would make Mega Pokemon ubiquitous for PvP. If you're not bringing a Mega, well then you're just silly because you're missing out on these stat gains on already good Pokemon. In order for that to work out, there'd have to be a cost associated with Mega Evolving the Pokemon, and given Niantic's track record here, I don't think that they could really balance the cost to benefit ratio of Mega Evolving mid-combat in PvP. Then of course there is the issue with Mega Evolutions and raids then. Can you have an in-combat transformation for raids and have that work out? I don't really think so, because if you were to have this transformation in raids, well, that would be a period of time where you're doing no damage. No fast move, no charge move damage, but the raid boss is still active. The raid timer is still going down. For your Pokemon to make up that time loss in raids, it would have to make up about 15 seconds or so of survivability, which is like a whole nother charge move, to more or less break even. So I don't really see that working out too well for raids as an in-combat transformation. So for these reasons, I feel like the transformation is going to take place outside of combat. Now, is it going to be a permanent evolution or something that you can turn off or on? I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure it's going to take place outside of combat. And if it takes place outside of combat, then it's very likely going to follow the typical stat translations from the main series games to Pokemon Go for all the other Pokemon that have happened before them. And if they follow these stat translations from the main series games, well, then we can use tools such as the DPS TDO calculator on GamePress to find out how well these Pokemon are going to perform in raids. And we can also use tools such as PvPoke to find out how these Pokemon will perform in PvP. Now, luckily for you guys, the DPS TDO calculator already has Mega Evolution stats on it, so you can get started right now, and PvPoke already has these Mega stats as well, thanks to yours truly. Now, of course, with this information, you can get cracking along already to find out what the best Mega Pokemon are going to be for raids, PvP, and maybe even gym defense. But the Swag Man has already handpicked, curated that data for you. So in the future videos that are going to be coming out this week, I will be going over these individual topics, letting you know what's up as far as the Mega Pokemon go for PvP, raids, gym defense. I just wanted you guys to understand the background behind why I feel this is the way it's going to be. Now, if you got any questions on this content, comment below, let me know what's up, and I'll be happy to help you out. And if you enjoyed this content, you want to see these videos that are coming out, well, make sure to subscribe. And yeah, if you got your own theories on how the Megas are going to be in Pokemon Go, comment below. I'd be happy to see it. Maybe you might sway the Swag Man to think about Megas in a different way. SwagTips. I'd also like to give a special shout out to these patron supporters. If you want to support the Swag Man on Patreon, do it. So knowing this, how is Mega Evolution going to work out in Pokemon Go? Well, for starters, a lot of YouTube phonies out there will have you believing that it's tied to your best buddy, that only best buddies will be able to Mega Evolve. Well, this really isn't substantiated in the games. It seems like you just need to have the Mega Stone and the Keystone. Bam, you can get the Mega Evolution. A lot of these people are riffing off of Professor Sycamore's theory that, the bond between a trainer and a Pokemon will cause it to Mega Evolve. That's a key element to it. But that's only Professor Sycamore's theory, and if I recall correctly, I can catch Lucario in the main series games, Mega Evolve it, and it doesn't even have to like me. So I think Mega Evolution will be more so tied to the stones than it will be for friendship. That said, it is Pokemon Go. Pokemon Go does what it wants. And this cat does what it wants.